So the Commonwealth Court, its nickname is the People's Court, and it's really a fascinating jurisdiction that it was established to deal with governmental issues. And it really affects the people in many ways, no matter whether you're from a rural part of Pennsylvania or an urban part of Pennsylvania or anywhere in between. It affects your workplace, it affects the environment, it affects our voting rights, many other areas that we deal with in our lives every day. Right now, because of the economy being so bad, unemployment compensation are the single largest area of cases they hear, which is really, based on the sad state of our economy. So, but they hear unemployment compensation, workers' compensation, so unemployment compensation when people lose their jobs, workers' compensation when people are disabled or hurt on the job and need income to support them. They hear issues like affecting union rights, so collective bargaining rights, arbitration award appeals, many areas that affect unionized workers. They also hear environmental cases, land use and zoning cases go to the Commonwealth Court. So for example, everybody's talking about gas drilling in Marcellus Shale, those kinds of cases would also come to the court. And then there's voting rights. So any voting rights cases under the state law or state constitution would go to the Commonwealth Court. And those are interesting because they come both as appeals, and they also come directly as a trial court. So this is a really unique court that has what's called hybrid jurisdiction and has the ability to hear some cases as a trial court, although most of its cases are appellate. Well, these are the areas I've been practicing my whole career. So I started out at legal services, doing legal services emergency work for low-income disabled and elderly folks up in northeastern Pennsylvania in a very rural area, and then also at Lehigh Valley Legal Services. And there I started out doing unemployment compensation and disability work, which again this court hears. And then for 11 years I had my own practice, and in that context I did a lot of employment cases, disability work, pensions, insurance, voting rights, again a lot of areas that this court hears. And then in 2008 I had an amazing opportunity to totally shift gears. I was hired by a national organization to do statewide voting rights work. So the last 3 years I lived and breathed the Pennsylvania Election Code, which again this court hears, and I also handled a lot of public records requests, which is one of the fastest growing areas that this court hears. Right to know records, the records law changed in 2009, so all the appeals that just started happening since the new law took effect also go to the Commonwealth Court. So I feel like all my roads converge at the Commonwealth Court. I'm the only candidate with broad experience in the actual areas of law that this court hears. And I've practiced my entire career in Pennsylvania. So not only am I very familiar with these substantive areas that I just told you about, but I'm very familiar with Pennsylvania law dealing with these exact areas. I've spent the last 17 years working and living in rural Pennsylvania, urban Pennsylvania, and in between. And I think that it's a tremendous advantage to bring to the bench of the State Court of Pennsylvania, which, sitting on that bench, I would have the tremendous good fortune of hearing cases from every one of 67 counties in the state. So I'd be honored to bring that broad background and experience to the bench. I love to be outdoors, and one of the things that's unfortunate about, I've loved so much about running for office statewide, but it doesn't leave me with a lot of leisure time. When I have leisure time, I love to go biking and hiking, and that's one of the things that I love about Pennsylvania. There's so many fabulously beautiful places across the state. For example, a year ago I took my daughter to Tioga County. We have the Grand Canyon of Pennsylvania, which I never knew about until about a year and a half ago. And as soon as I found out, I knew I had to go. So and I did return to Tioga County just a couple weeks ago because I really was looking forward to going back. But I look forward to more time to enjoy the outdoors. Well, I spend so much time talking as I travel across the state, and I've been to the huge majority of the counties across the state because I'm running for a position, as I said, that will hear cases from every one of 67 counties. And I really wanted to make a connection to the people about how this court impacts their lives. So few people have any idea what the courts do and why it matters, and they think, you know, every judge and every court hears the same type of cases. This court really deserves its nickname, the People's Court. And I have felt all along, I spend far more time talking about the court and these cases and these issues than I do talking about Kathy Bookvar, because the people need the connection to come out and vote. And no matter how you feel about electing or appointing judges, in this state we elect our judges. And we have, I think it's an honor that we can choose, we can have a voice in 1/3 of our system of government. But without the information, it's hard to know what to do. So I want the people to really know this court is going to decide our job rights, the safety of our drinking water, our children's education. So please come out and vote on November 8th, this Tuesday. I'd be honored to have your support, and thank you so much.